ready to wake up and dream? Yes, you heard that right. Dreaming at night is overrated. The real magic happens when you wake up.
This is the Wake Up and Dream podcast with your hosts,
Lisa,
Ellie,
and Sarah, 3 women sharing real-life stories of life and business. If you feel unfulfilled, underappreciated, or have lost yourself in the daily grind of life, we get you.
Join us each week as we hear from countless women who are reclaiming their life and happiness. You will feel encouraged, supported, and motivated to reimagine a life of limitless possibilities.
Get ready to create a life that makes you want to jump out of bed and truly live the life that you deserve and love. So, let's get started. Welcome to Wake Up and Dream. We are so excited to have you here. We are in the middle of a summer series called our Summer Side Gig series, where we're specifically talking about ways to make extra money, ways to find purpose that's outside of perhaps your job. And today I'm excited to connect and talk with one of my team members, Jodi Benusa. So, Jodi, just give us a little window into, where you live, what life looks like, what is your normal like living existence, I guess, for lack of a better word.
Oh, before I start that, you just made me think of something that my grandmother taught me. What's wrong with being normal? Everything, if you can do better. So I currently live on what I call the west coast of Wisconsin. So by that, I mean I live right along the Mississippi River, right about mid-state. So the east coast of Wisconsin has Lake Oshkosh. Yes, Oshkosh. What is it? Lake Michigan. I don't know. I don't remember. So I live on the west coast of Wisconsin. So I do work from home. I have my own business along with my other side gig. I spend a lot of time here, kind of all by myself, but probably what's the most interesting and what we're probably going to talk about the most today is the fact, I had to move last October from my comfort zone, from my little nest, to an area where I don't know a soul. And in fact, the winter was very, very long. I did not know anyone, and I was trapped in my house nearly 24/7, unless I went out for groceries or something like that. So a big shift happened just recently.
Wow. It sounds challenging because to go from your comfort zone to not knowing a single soul, and in the country, so it's not like you have neighbors. I walk out my back door and the chance of seeing someone is pretty high in my neighborhood. But that wasn't yours. So tell me, I've been talking the last couple weeks with people that have joined a direct sales company, and I just want to like put that blanket statement out there that we at Wake Up and Dream here, we want you to wake up and dream. We want you to find something that excites you, that fills you with passion, that fulfills a purpose in who you are and what you're bringing to the world at large or in a small circle of your influence. And so when we talk about direct sales, I only have my experience in one company. And so that is why we've been talking more about the company that I'm familiar with. But I want to just be very clear that if this isn't a passion or something, find a direct sales company that has a product that you are like goo goo amazed by, and just because passion is what drives us to share. And that's why I'm so excited to have Jodi just share a little bit of how she was introduced to the company that we're both involved in called Labri Pure and Natural.
Yeah. So, I'm gonna do just a little bit of a backstory. I'll make it brief, but gosh, I think it was about 8.5. I was spending a lot of money on skincare products that didn't work. I was not afraid to try expensive things. Yeah, it just didn't matter to me. I was willing to pay the price if it was going to work. And then a friend of mine invited me to her little home show. And I tried these Labri products because I was looking for something that was going to actually work. So I tried these products, and the first time I put them on my face, I went, I don't know what it is about these products, but it is different. And I immediately saw a change in my skin. And so, right from her party, I bought, gosh, I must have bought like $400 worth of products during her party because when I felt better, I presented better. And over the time, I just fell more and more in love with the product. So that's kind of how I was introduced to Labri, just really seeing a difference. And I think more than anything, Lisa, it was the fact that since I could see a difference, I could feel a difference in my presentation.
And isn't that so true? I mean, we look in the mirror every single day, and the thoughts that we have about this face that's staring us back makes an incredible difference on how we're showing up at our workplace, for our family, for, those people that we're going to be in contact with. What we think about ourselves has a direct connection to the confidence that we bring to our relationships as well. So, so tell me, I'm actually gonna just have you give the spiel because, like, what was it like? What do you think was the difference in why it made your skin feel and look differently?
So back when I first tried the product and really taking a look at ingredients, and I think that was really what the difference was. Just knowing that aloe was the first ingredient, I had done a lot of research on aloe and knew that I wanted products with that type of a base. And I searched and searched and couldn't find any. And then lo and behold, Labri literally fell in my lap. So it is the aloe that has totally made the difference in my aging process. And, we all know this, but we kind of ignore it. We all age 24/7, 365 days a year. Personally, am not into artificial enhancers. I'll just leave it there. I want to age the best I can naturally.
Love it, love it, love it. So you tried the products, you loved it, and then take us from, like, did she ask you, right away to consider, having a side gig and joining her?
Yes. Yep. Even before I actually placed the order, she said, I'm seeing how excited you are. You're going to love these products. You should just consider enrolling in Labri right now and you can get more for less money. But I said, absolutely not. No way am I going to get involved in something that is a scam. That was my belief at that time. I'm just going to say that. That was my belief. And the reason I believed that is because I was unlearned.
So so let's address the elephant in the room because that is something that, being in direct sales for the last 13 years, it is the glassy-eyed look like, sorry, I'm not going to say yes to something that is a pyramid scheme and, you know, all of the things. So, is it a pyramid scheme?
Absolutely not. No.
What did you find out when you did your research?
So, well, I will tell you first before I share that this gal asked me 6 times to join before I pulled the trigger. So I did do some research. I actually took a look and discovered what a pyramid is and what it is not. And direct selling is not a pyramid because we offer a product. Pyramids do not offer a product. You just pay money.
Right. And they're illegal. Like direct sales wouldn't have been around for decades upon decades if it was an illegal operation.
Right. Yep. So I did settle that in my mind before I said yes, but I can still picture this just like it was yesterday in my mind. I was standing at my little kitchen um, landing there, and I told her, "Yes, okay, I'm ready to sign up." She says, "Okay, I'll be right there." In about 20 minutes, she was at my door, and my heart was racing. I am not kidding. I was sweating. Was I doing the right thing? I don't know. What's the catch? Uh, okay, let's just do it, because I had this little nagging thought in the back of my mind. What if this is legit? What if there's a way to make a little extra money? What if I keep saying no? And what if I lose out on this opportunity? So, with my heart pounding and my fingers sweating, she led me through the way on how to sign up. And right then and there, we did it right at my little kitchen counter. And just like that, I was enrolled. I was now a LeBri consultant. And the immediate thought that I had in my mind was, what have I done? I'll be honest, that's the immediate thought that I had.
So did you actually find, like, as you progressed in, learning more about LeBri as a consultant, did you find that it was scary? Like that was your biggest fear?
Let me define that scary, because sharing the LeBri products was extremely easy because I loved them so much. What the scary part for me was, when was the shoe going to drop? When was I going to find out the catch? When is it going to be sprung on me that there are minimum sales required? I did not want to be salesy. I had no interest in that at all. I just wanted to share the products because I was excited about them. So that's what was scary, is always kind of looking over my shoulder, wondering, when is the shoe going to drop?
And I had a similar experience because I was really skeptical as well, and I was like, okay, this seems too good to be true. No sales minimums. You don't have to, there's no pressure to sell. You get free products or free samples to share. Like they don't kick you out. Like, just like what? Um, so let's fast forward here. How long have you been having a side gig with LeBri?
7 years, I believe.
Okay. So in the 7 years, how has your experience, exposure, involvement with a direct sales company helped you to wake up and dream?
Okay. So I'm going to tell you honestly, when I started, it was like gung ho and I was doing very well. All the things were coming together. And then, that lockdown happened, and I had a job where it was incredibly stressful. I was in the healthcare business, working in a hospital, and the stress from that alone really kind of dampened my spirit for LeBri and my love to share because of all the stress that was actually happening. And then we came out of the pandemic and I actually quit my job. My hope was to pursue LeBri more full time, but I had a lot of growing to do in there. That was 3 years ago. And the growing hasn't stopped. And I you know how they say you can connect the dots by looking back, but not looking forward. Looking back, I can see all the steps that I've had to personally take to get to where I am today. So it's been this huge growth process that is making me into a better and better person. So I don't know if I answered your questions.
Well, I'm curious because, like, in your job in social work, did you not feel like that was causing you to grow, and like how was that different than this over here in direct sales?
Sure, sure. So when I was at the hospital as a social worker, I was trapped. I was not allowed to service my patients the way they deserved. I was frustrated. I didn't fit in just because I am a very bubbly, want to help people genuinely kind of a person. So it took me a while to get past the I'm going to even say trauma of being so suppressed and held under a bushel for so long that's why I think my Labri career had difficulty in jumpstarting after I left the hospital. I had a lot of healing to do.
Hmm. And that makes total sense. So do you think that um your Labri involvement with the people, like, how did that help you in that healing?
Let me address that this way. I think this will be best for people to understand. So after quitting the hospital, I did open up my own business, another geriatric consulting business. And I'll never forget this, Lisa. And this is where the transformation started. I had business cards printed and I put Jodi Benusa, CEO. That was 3 years ago. I'm almost going to choke up now. That was 3 years ago. And I have looked at that card 10,000 times. And those letters, CEO, were so overwhelming to me. And I have been thinking about that for 3 years. And it dawned on me during our last convention, which was just a few weeks ago in August, that being the CEO of my own life first is the only way that I can be successful with Labri and my other business. If I don't take charge of who I am and take care of myself, and I don't mean that selfishly because I'm that one that has been told my whole life that putting yourself first is selfish. But really being the chief officer in my life has really caused me to shift just in the past 3 weeks. Now that I understand, and every morning I say, "Good morning, CEO Jodi K," that my whole day is different. Now I can be the CEO of my Labri business. I can take charge. I can run it like a business and not make it so haphazard, not so nonchalant. I can make it a serious business. And only since I've made that shift has that been happening for me.
Love this. Love this, love this. So just to wrap things up, so I'm sensing that, it's helped you to take charge, to make decisions that are in alignment with what you want, built your confidence, helped you realize that you didn't have to be trapped in a job, that you could create a side gig. You have two side gigs, in essence, that you're managing, that you're the CEO of, but in essence, that CEO is really of your life. You're making the decisions and planting the doing the actions that are going to move you in the direction that you want to be moving in. And I love that for you. So let's just wrap it up with, if someone is listening and they have always, like, wanted to get untrapped. They've always wanted to have more options. Maybe they feel unfulfilled, just depressed, frustrated, all of the emotions that I know you felt when you were there. And they're there and they're like, I don't, I mean, I'm just going to have to stick it out till retirement. Like I've got, and they count. I've got 12 more years. I'm like, oh my gosh, honey. Huh. So, what would you say to someone that feels stuck in their job and but yet is fearful, scared to say yes to a direct sales company. What encouragement would you give her?
Yep. So first of all, I would like to have her examine that feeling of being stuck. Because if you are feeling stuck, you're going to think stuck thoughts. You're going to do stuck actions, and you're going to get stuck results. So really just examine that thought right there and that feeling, and change that and say, isn't that interesting that I feel stuck? Isn't that interesting? And say, let's change that up a little bit. Instead of saying, I feel stuck, say, I'm interested in learning if there's an opportunity for me somewhere else, doing something more. So if you change that stuck feeling to opportunity, then things can really start to unfold for you. So no one could absolutely be as frightened as I was that day I signed up. No one could be as terrified as I was when I decided that day to join LeBri. I do understand that feeling, but I, at that moment, made that decision. I want to take a look at this opportunity. Once I wrapped my brain around that, I could actually sign up, and here I am.
Oh, I love this. And here's like just the cherry on the top is making a decision to try something new isn't a life commitment. Like you can change your mind. I'm just going to tell you, I'm going to give you freedom. You can change your mind. If you decide to join and then you realize that it's not a good thing or not a good fit for you, you can change your mind. That's the beautiful freedom that I think people forget about. And often they feel like, oh my gosh, if I sign up, I'm going to have to do this and I'm going to have to do this and I'm going to have the feel of pressure. And I don't want to sign up if I don't know that I'm going to be successful at this. And I don't want to be the pushy salesman and all the things. Well, what I hear you saying is, hey, just try it because that opportunity could be what sends you on a trajectory that really opens up you to waking up and dreaming about the things that are really, really at your heart center and important to you. And I've seen that in you, Jodi. I've seen you move in the direction of those dreams and that vision that you have for yourself and your future. So, wow. Thank you so much for joining me today. And we will put in the show notes if people want to connect with you to learn more about your transition, about, what you feel about side gigs and direct sales and all of that. We will put all that information in the show notes for people. And listeners, thank you so much for joining us today. And until next time, wake up and dream.
Thank you so much for joining us. Before you go, do us a favor and follow our podcast.
And if this episode inspired you, be sure to take a screenshot and share it on your social media.
Also, check us out on Instagram at Wake Up and Dream Podcast. Be sure to tune in every Thursday for another episode. Until next time, wake up and dream.